Hello guys, Greg back with another review. So today we're going to look at one by the house of Yves Saint Laurent. This one is called Rive Gauche. Let's dive straight into it. Rive Gauche is classified as an aromatic green, but I would say it's almost certainly actually an aromatic fougere. Perfumer on this is Jacques Cavalier. He's done tons of fragrances that you'll all know of. He did M7 and Opium pour Homme for YSL. He did the whole of the Bulgari Aqua range. He did Diesel's Fuel for Life, Midnight Poison for Dior, did Low Dissy, the original. So lots of really good fragrances. This one was released in 2003 during Tom Ford's time at YSL. It's actually 32 years after the female release, and the bottles look, even though there's that much of a time apart, they look identical apart from the women's one is blue. If you haven't smelt this before and you smell it for the first time, you'll be really surprised that it's only 10 years old. It's definitely got an 80s, classic 80s fougere feel to it. But I'll talk a bit more about that later on. So the phrase Rive Gauche, the literal translation is left bank, and in this instance it refers to the left bank of the River Seine. But the name's really alluding to an area and the streets around the left bank, and traditionally they've been synonymous with culture and art. It's also where one of the main YSL boutiques is in that area as well. The Rive Gauche marketing says that the fragrance represents a state of mind, a way of being, and a lifestyle. So the one that I've got here, this is the original formulation. There is, as you'll probably know and you'll have seen, a lot of the YSL fragrances were reformulated and repackaged in a glass bottle, and they're now called the La Collection. M7 has changed, and Jazz has as well. So same thing happened to this. Now, in terms of how different they are, I don't own the new one. The consensus is that it's kind of watered down. I've tried it quite a few times when I've been in the store, and I'd say unless you've got a really keen nose, there's not a great deal of difference. So if you want to try this, don't worry about picking up the newer one. There's not a lot of difference, I really don't think. So let's have a look at the presentation on this. Have a look at the box first. This is my small one that I'm actually using at the moment, my 50ml box. So you can see that it's a black box with the silver going round. The silver's actually reflective, which is quite cool. Information, just a simple black box. Then you've got the bottle here. Now, anyone that says that this fragrance doesn't have a Barbershop element to it, look at the bottle. It's supposed to be like a shaving foam can. I mean, YSL were quite deliberate in the way they delivered this. So it's a metal bottle. It's not particularly sturdy, even though it's metal. There's the lid. Batch code on the bottom. You've got here the YSL address. Now, depending on what bottle you get, that address, there's two different addresses, and that also can signify the age. Now, I'm not sure if there's a different formulation, but there's certainly a different, you can detect when yours was produced by which Paris address is on there. So let's have a look at the sprayer. It's starting to drip a bit. It might just be my bottle, because this has had a bit of a battering. I've taken it on holiday and all sorts, but it's usually a pretty good sprayer. So yeah, it's quite a nice presentation. It's quite a sort of old style, even though it was 2003, but I really like it. So let's dig into it and have a look at the description and talk about what it really smells like. So the notes in there, at the top you've got rosemary, star anise and bergamot. In the mid there's lavender, cloves, geranium and coumarin. And in the base there's patchouli, gaiac wood, vetiver and oak moss. So as I said before, this is kind of a modern twist on a barbershop fragrance, but it's definitely not just that. There's a lot more to it. It doesn't progress a huge amount, but if you wear it a lot and you analyse fragrances like I do, you will detect that there are certain transitions in there. So you've got star anise, bergamot and rosemary at the top, and that gives it a really clean, fresh opening. And then there's lavender in there, and that combines with the rosemary, which gives it kind of it's like a spicy, grassy, aromatic feel. Then you get vetiver and patchouli, which adds a bit of woods, and you've got gaiac wood in there, which is woody, obviously, and the gaiac wood gives it a bit of smoke as well. So you combine those things, it takes away a little bit of that clean freshness and gives it a bit more of a dirty vibe. That does happen very late on in the fragrance, but you'll see what I mean if you try it. It's a bit of a weird thing to say, but even when this fragrance is dirty, it's still clean. It's just there's that little bit of earthiness in there that adds another dimension to it. It's definitely also what I would describe as a herbal fragrance, or herbal, if you're from the US. You won't understand what I'm talking about. So it's definitely got that 80s fougere vibe. It kind of smells a bit like talcum powder, but you know, those things can be taken as negatives, but in my opinion this doesn't really have many negatives. It's very, very good. I'd say it's a gentleman's fragrance. The person that you would imagine wearing this would be a well-dressed, well-mannered, classy, charming kind of guy. So what I personally get from this, you try and imagine that feeling. You've just had a really great shave, nice long hot shower, you get out, you get dried off, and you've got a nice clean, crisply ironed white collared shirt that you put on ready to go out the house. That's what Rive Gauche makes me think of, that kind of scenario. I find the fragrance is very cooling. It's got a cooling aspect, and it's also very calming. It's almost like therapeutic. It really has got that calming feel to it. So that leads on to words I'd use to describe it. So, and I've already used a lot of them. So it's clean, it's creamy, it's herbal, it's cooling, calming, charming, relaxing, reassuring. That gives you a kind of idea of where it takes you. So in terms of purposes or occasion, it's a very versatile one. I think I wear it pretty much most of the year, day and night. The only time I don't wear it is in the real peak of the summer. In terms of occasion, again, it's versatile. The best use of this is probably for work or for professional suit and tie, but you can wear it on a date or a romantic setting, or for casual. The only time that I wouldn't really wear this is sort of in a trendy nightclub type of environment. It's kind of the antithesis of 1 million when it comes to that. So age wise, to me it's probably best suited to 30s and upwards. I'm not sure anyone much younger than that would actually want to wear it or smell like this. I could be wrong. I wouldn't have worn this in my 20s, but I always say anybody can wear whatever they want, and more power to you. Performance wise, very, very good for me. Considering it's a really soft, clean, fresh scent, it lasts all day on my skin. Projection's subtle, but it's definitely good, I would say. Lasts 3 or 4 hours. Sillage is good, actually better than the projection, I'd say. It leaves a nice cloud that hangs in the air for quite a while. I sometimes wear this to work when I actually do go into the office. And I can have been out to go and get a drink or whatever, come back into the office and can still smell the Rive Gauche in the air. So that's a good sign of that the sillage is good. But it's basically, performance-wise, this is everything that you would expect from this type of fragrance. Nothing more, nothing less, really. Comparison-wise, nothing really for me. It's got the same vibe as a lot of classic aromatic fougères, as Azaro pour Homme, Paco Rabanne pour Homme, Brut, Draca Noir. So that in that kind of family, but it doesn't smell like any of them, and it smells a lot better than any of them. So price-wise, tin can version starting to get quite hard to find now. You can see me with a bit of overkill. I've got 2 backups here, as well as the bottle that I'm using. The only place you really find it is eBay, or in the UK anyway, or a couple of the lesser known online discounters have it. 50ml, 75ml or 125. 50ml cans going for around £20. 75ml ones are really hard to find, and usually they're more expensive than even the 125ml. The 125ml ones are going for around £35-40. I think that this will probably end up, within the next 1 or 2 years, being another Gucci Pour Homme or Gucci Envy or Pure Malt. When you couldn't get hold of that, it would be selling for silly money. The La Collection version, I think it only comes in an 80ml bottle, and the retail price is £58, but pretty much all the online retailers have it for about £48. So finally, let's rate this one. Longevity, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. As I said before, really adequate longevity. Projection and sillage, they get an 8 out of 10. Smell, I absolutely love this. For smell alone, it's one of my favourite fragrances in my collection, giving it 9.5 out of 10. And the overall rating for YSL Rive Gauche is 9 out of 10. So that's the end, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Please do rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.